Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 8th of January and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. First is Bangladesh plans to buy the Abdali missiles from Pakistan. This is a short-range ballistic missile with a range of 400 kilometers. Obviously, the northeastern part of India will be at the receiving end or will be at threat. Apart from it, the eastern part of India, which shares a boundary with Bangladesh, will also be under the threat of this easily launchable missile. India and Bangladesh are having a tough time in their relations, and Bangladesh wants to upgrade its military status and, create a deterrent for India's military position. Pakistan is more than happy in helping Bangladesh. The next is two new categories of visas launched by India. The Ministry of Home Affairs has launched two new categories for the students who are wanting to study in India. First is e-students visa and the second is e-students X visa. E-students visa is for the students valid for 5 years or can be extended also if they want to study in any of those educational institutes which are impaneled by the ministry for the foreign students. And second, e-student X visa is for the dependents of the students who are studying over here in India. Both of these categories of visas application has to be filed on the Study in India portal, which is under the Ministry of Education. And yes, this is going to boost the education sector in India by inviting foreign students over here. The third is Panchayat's role in women empowerment. Lok Sabha Speaker and the President of India, Mrs. Draupadi Murmu, addressed a group of females coming from different parts of the country, and they have a crucial role to play in the respective panchayats of their regions. 33% of the seats are minimum mandatory for women to be reserved at the panchayat level and at the urban local bodies level, and this is being followed by almost all the states in India. But why women participation is important, that was highlighted by them. It can lead to better implementation of the policies, better formulation of the policies, better social concerns can be tackled, the problems being faced by the women can be tackled. So all these things were highlighted. The initiative Panchayat se Parliament Tak was also a key talk point of this particular event. We will be then dealing with the MCQs based on these three topics, and then we will be discussing the answers to the MCQs of yesterday. Now, talking about the first topic, that is Bangladesh plans to buy Abdali missiles from Pakistan. So Abdali is a short-range ballistic missile. Ballistic missiles, they follow this route, parabolic route, and the range of Abdali missiles is 400 kilometers. This is also known as HATF-2 in Pakistan. And Bangladesh aim is to strengthen the defense and create military balance with India. Create a military balance with India, that is going to be difficult because India's military capabilities are far ahead than Bangladesh. But yes, if Bangladesh has this, then Bangladesh will be having an additional deterrent towards India. Now, about this Abdali missile, it is a short range missile. As I told you, the range is 400 kilometers, which can cover parts of northeastern India, including major cities. These are designed for quick use in battlefield situations, and their range is relatively short, that is 400 kilometers, but they can still be dangerous if deployed along the Indo-Bangladesh border. It is developed by Pakistan's Space Research Commission, SUPARCO, and are already used by Pakistani Army, known as HATF-2, within their forces. So this is the name of this Abdali missiles within the Pakistani forces. So Abdali missile is also known as HATF-2. We can understand it in this way. Now, security concerns for India. Threat to northeastern India. Major cities of northeastern India are within this 400 kilometers range. And, this Abdali missile can, target important cities in India in this way. Then a psychological deterrent it will act like. The presence of these missiles in Bangladesh would act like a psychological threat for India. If we attack Bangladesh or if we do any, military aggressions against Bangladesh, then there can be a possibility that Bangladesh uses this. We will be thinking like this. Then regional arms race. Experts warn that Bangladesh acquiring these missiles might spark an arms race in the region, forcing India to strengthen its missile defense systems and possibly increase offensive capabilities. So, this can also happen. But yes, overall, you know, in a nutshell, if I see this topic, I can see that Bangladesh's proximity with Pakistan is increasing, which is obviously not a good news for India, and its differences with India are increasing. Again, not a good news for India. Now, implications for the regional security if Bangladesh acquires this Abdali missile. So, it will lead to shifting balance. Acquisition of the Abdali missile could change the security balance in South Asia, particularly in India's favor. So, why? Because India will be, becoming more aggressive, and India will now openly go for, military expansions and all. Although these missiles would not significantly affect Pakistan, they could raise tensions with India, especially if deployed near the border. And India has way more capable missiles than Abdali missiles. A strategic edge, the missiles will give Bangladesh a tactical advantage, especially in the quick battlefield reactions. But yes, that situation, God forbid, should not be there for Bangladesh. So, this is what we need to understand and know. The political context of this purchase is, first point is deteriorating India Bangladesh relations. That is what I said, that one thing which we can take out from this particular episode is that India Bangladesh relations are on the decline, especially after the removal of Sheikh Hasina. There has been communal violence, violence against the minorities in Bangladesh, which the Bangladesh government is not able to address. The Yunus-led government, for not addressing communal violence against Hindus in Bangladesh, India has raised concerns about it, and the government is not able to address that. That is concerning India. And that has become the talk point between both these countries. Then India's military buildup. India has been rapidly expanding its military infrastructure near the Bangladesh border, increasing tensions further because India faces the threat of illegal immigration into India. The same thing which happened during the late 1960s or 1971, when, a lot of atrocities were committed by the Pakistan army in East Pakistan at that time. So India is, kind of uh, at threat that these things should not happen. That is why the military buildup or the forces build up at that border. Now, what are the potential global reactions on this? So, Pakistan's motivation, Pakistan obviously will be feeling good and may be willing to sell these missiles to Bangladesh to deepen its ties further with, Bangladesh, and look to counteract or counterbalance India's influence in that region. And talking about both these countries, Bangladesh and Pakistan, both of these countries are not part of the Missile Technology Control Regime, MTCR. So they can trade missile technology and all with each other. If they would have signed it, then we could not have traded it. Now, since they are trading it, but it could attract international attention and debate about arms control in the region. People will be talking about it, though they are not violating any law, they are not violating any treaty or anything like that. But yes, this will spark some debate at the global level, and India definitely will be part of this debate. Impact on India's security strategy. What impact is going to be there on India's security strategy? The missile defense, India is likely to strengthen its missile defense systems in the northeastern states if Bangladesh acquires these missiles. So obviously, we have also developed missiles and all, but for what we have developed? We have developed it for creating a deterrence. If need be, using it also. But God forbid that situation should not come. So for creating a deterrence, we will be, deploying more and more missiles in the northeastern region. So, offensive capabilities, India may also increase its own offensive missile capabilities to deter any potential threats from Bangladesh. So then, we'll have to show Bangladesh also that we also have these kind of systems, and you are purchasing, we have indigenously developed, and we have more advanced and more capable systems than you have. We also have anti-missile missile technologies which can counter these incoming aerial objects, the Abdali missile, if Bangladesh acquires towards us. So that is what we need to understand in this particular scene. Now, next is two new categories of visas launched by India. Now, Ministry of Home Affairs has introduced two special category of visas for international students who wish to pursue higher education in India. Generally, it would have been Ministry of External Affairs or Ministry of Education, but in a surprise, it is Ministry of Home Affairs. The two new types of visas are e-student visa and e-student X visa. E-student visa for the student who wants to study. This visa is issued for 5 years, but it is issued only after the student has got the offer letter or the admission letter from the educational institute based in India, and that educational institute should be empaneled with the government. E-student X visa is for the dependent of the student who is coming to visit or study here in India. And both these visa types require the use of Study in India portal. Means if a person is applying for e-student visa, then a profile has to be created on Study in India portal. E-student X visa profile has to be created on the Study in India portal. So this is what we need to think. Now, eligibility and application process. So e-student visa available to international students who have been admitted to full-time undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD or other formal programs at recognized educational institutes in India. They must apply through the SII portal after receiving an admission offer from one of the portal's partner institutions, and visa is valid for up to 5 years depending on the length of the course and can be extended as well. E-student X visa available to the dependents such as family members of e-student visa holders. Both types of visas require students to have SII ID, which verifies their application and allows them to proceed with visa processing. So, both these things are there, these two categories newly introduced for the students and their dependents. Now, Study in India portal. If I have to, talk a bit about it, it is a flagship portal of Ministry of Education to simplify the admission process for international students. Over 600 partner institutions in India are offering more than 8,000 courses over there on this portal. Engineering, management, agriculture, science, arts, humanities, laws, paramedical sciences, pharmacy, nursing, etc. etc. Buddhist studies, yoga are also available. Nalanda University is also now operational, though courses from there also will be available. Now, steps for registration for students. They must visit the SII portal and click on the register now button. They need to provide basic information such as name, country, date of birth, mobile number and email ID. And after registration, students will receive a unique SII ID, which is essential for tracking their admission and visa processes. And SII ID is mandatory for students to apply for visas, admission or travel to India. Without it, students cannot pursue the studies in India. So that is something which is very much intrinsic or core part of foreign students studying in India, study in India portal, SII portal, registration, SII ID. So this is the visa application process. Students must apply for the visa through indiavisaonline.gov.in because it is an e-visa, so it has to be applied online after obtaining an admission from SII partner institutions. SII ID will be used to verify the authenticity of the student's application, and student will be able to enter India via any immigration checkpost with a valid e-student visa once issued by the government. Now, I was watching one of the interviews of Mr. S. Shankar, and he was talking about e-visa facility extended by India. This is e-visa facility for the students, e-student visa it is called as. But overall, if for the non-students also, India offers e-visa facility to many countries in the world. India has streamlined visa issuing. Many developed countries are also wanting, to take access to this particular facility which India has developed. This is very much part of our digital public infrastructure. And India is the country which extends this e-visa facility to maximum number of countries or to the highest number of countries in the world. So, this is what we need to learn from this. Next is Panchayat's role in women empowerment. The Lok Sabha Speaker and the President met a few women Panchayat leaders, and they were talking about what can be the role of women, and and if you are participating in the panchayat, because according to the constitution, one third of the seats minimum has to be reserved for the women. at the panchayat and the urban local body level. So let us look at the addresses given by both these dignitaries to the people who were listening to them. The Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla's address on women empowerment. Key focus. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla emphasized that inclusion and empowerment of women, particularly from rural and tribal communities, is critical for socio-economic change in India. Now just imagine women participating in panchayats, women making policies, women making laws, women responsible for implementing them. Obviously, will be much better. Will be much better for women, will be much better for children, will be much better for the overall well-being of the society. But unfortunately, we live in a patriarchal society. 33% reservation was given. But yes, the concept or the institute of Sarpanch Pati came into picture. You might have all have seen that series, or most of you might have seen that series, Panchayat on Amazon Prime. There, the actual Sarpanch was the wife, Neena Gupta. But all the works were being carried out by her husband, Mr. Raghubir Yadav. So, that is what the concept of Sarpanch Pati is. And people used to address her husband as the Sarpanch, not her. So, this is what the concept of Sarpanch Pati crept in. Patriarchal mindset, patriarchal society, unfortunately. So, it is like this. But yes, if I see the status of women, it has increased from the past when that reservation was not available to them. It has been better. It has not been, as per the desired output or the desired result has not been achieved. But yes, substantial achievements have been there. Women in panchayats, he also highlighted the significant role of women in leadership in panchayat level representative institutions in effectively addressing community issues such as clean drinking water, sanitation, education, etc., etc. These are some social issues which impact the women and children the most. So, these can be addressed. Entrepreneurial spirit of tribal women, he talked about. He praised the tribal women for their efforts in self-reliant villages, contributing to local production, traditional crafts, and online businesses. He also advocated for support to help these women-led enterprises expand and reach global markets, which would further support economic growth and cultural preservation. He talked about leadership and problem solving. He attributed women's leadership to their unique problem solving skills, which stem from their personal experiences. And these personal experiences actually make women better leaders. They will be, more empathetic, they will be more, I would say, considerate to the problems of the societies, and they will be acting to solve them. That is what it is. It means these skills lead to more effective and inclusive governance, promoting socio-economic development at both local and national levels. Women's participation, he emphasized that women's participation at both the panchayat and national parliamentary level is essential for ensuring accountability and fostering inclusive development. Unfortunately, at the parliamentary levels as of now, very less female MPs are there. In the last or in the current Lok Sabha, less than the previous Lok Sabha MPs have been elected. I think there are total 74 MPs in the Parliament of India. However, the women's reservation bill has been passed by the government, and that will come into effect after the delimitation commission has been formed. Delimitation commission will be formed after the census has been, you know, uh, released, I would say. So this is what it is. The increased women representation, many states have surpassed the 33% reservation for women in panchayats, with some reaching over 50% representation, which Birla saw as crucial for sustainable governance. Event participation, over 500 tribal women from 22 states and union territories attended the event, showcasing the growing involvement of women in Panchayati Raj institutions. So, this is what it means. Talking about the President's address. Key message: President Draupadi Murmu highlighted the important role of Panchayati Raj institutions (PRIs) in empowering women and fostering grassroots governance and community development. Fearless leadership and conflict resolution. She encouraged women representatives to discharge their duties fearlessly as leaders. Dispute resolution at panchayat level was also emphasized, and Murmu stressed that resolving conflicts locally would save time and resources, promote mutual harmony and peace in the community, and empower women as key decision makers. So she was going on this tangent, dispute resolution tangent, fearless leadership for the women. Herself being a woman, head of the state of the country, the second female president of the country, talking about this, so obviously that will be more inspiring. Then, talking about Panchayati Raj institutions, the foundation for governance and women empowerment, local governance. President Murmu called Panchayati Raj institutions the cornerstone of India's democracy because this is the grassroots level of democracy. And there, women's participation is mandated. One third of the seats have to be reserved for women. That is something which is kind of a blessing for us in terms of inclusive governance or in terms of inclusive democracy. So, that should be taken advantage of. And that is why she is considering Panchayati Raj institutions as the foundation for governance and women empowerment. Statistics for women participation in Panchayati Raj institutions, she highlighted. She said that 14 lakh women serve as elected members in Panchayati Raj institutions across India, constituting 46% of the total elected representatives. Minimum is 33%, but yes, overall average is 46% are females. This figure reflects increasing women's participation in local governance. Reservation for women. To further strengthen women's participation, most states have increased reservation limits to 50%. So I said in the constitution it is written as minimum 33%, but some states have gone one step ahead and said 50% hoga bhai. Minimum 33 hai na, maximum can be anything. So they have mandated 50%. The half of the panchayat positions are reserved for women, promoting gender equality in leadership roles. So this is what it is. So you have to consider these small things. You might be knowing that 33% seats are reserved for women, but it is technically speaking minimum 33% seats are reserved. If the states want to extend beyond 33%, it is their choice, and some states have extended it to 50%. The President Murmu's call for awareness and welfare initiatives, if I'd say. So promote welfare schemes. She was of this viewpoint. Panchayat representatives are urged to raise awareness about central government welfare schemes, ensuring that eligible people benefit out of it. Talking about health and education, ensure that children are vaccinated on time, pregnant women receive proper nutrition, and no better than a woman can understand this. And here, women can actually bring change. Ensure children do not drop out of school and continue their studies. This is also very important, and this is very much understood by the females. Campaigns against social evils. President encouraged campaigns against social evils, including dowry, domestic violence, drug addiction, etc. And these efforts are vital for creating safer and more supportive community. The Panchayat se Parliament initiative. Scheduled tribe women representatives. President Murmu addressed a group of scheduled tribe women representatives who came to Delhi under the Panchayat se Parliament initiative. Objective is to connect grassroots women leaders with the legislative process and encourage their participation in the national governance. So it is kind of aiming to give exposure to these women who are there in the rural areas, that how laws and policies are made at the central level. That is what Panchayat se Parliament initiative aims at. Then she also talked about Panchayati Raj's role in empowering women. Foundation for Local Governance, both President Murmu and Speaker Birla highlighted that Panchayati Raj institutions are essential for maintaining India's democratic structure, providing citizens, especially women, with a space to engage in decision making and lead their communities. Empowering through representation, women in panchayats ensure that voices are heard and their needs are addressed. So, this is what it was. But as I said, on the other hand, there have been institutions like Sarpanch Pati, which have also evolved over the years. These kind of institutions definitely are, you know, uh, a barrier, a roadblock in women empowerment, participation of women in governance, that needs to be addressed. So these kind of societal, I would say, flaws, patriarchy, should be addressed, and education does have an answer to this. Now coming to the MCQs. Consider the following statements with respect to Abdali missile and mark the correct one. Abdali missiles are short-range ballistic missiles. They are also known as HATF-2. Which of these statements are correct? Carefully answer this. Second, which ministry has launched two new categories of visas for foreign students to study in India? Ministry of Education, Ministry of Home Affairs, External Affairs, or none of the above? Very simple it is. Third, consider the following statements and mark how many of them are correct. The keyword is how many. The e-student visa facility is extended to the dependents of the foreign students who will be studying in Indian universities. The e-student X visa will be available to the international students who have been admitted to full-time undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD or other formal programs at recognized educational institutes in India. Third is the Study in India portal is managed by Ministry of Education. Only one statement is correct, two statement is correct, all the statements are correct or none of the statements are correct. You have to highlight or you have to mark the correct one. Carefully read this question. The last question, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Constitution of India mandates 33%, a minimum 33% reservation for seats for women in panchayats. The Panchayat se Parliament tak initiative aims to connect grassroots women leaders with the legislative processes. Only one, only two, both one and two, or neither one nor two. Now discussing to the answers of MCQs of 7th of December. Sorry, 7th of January. It is not 712, it is 701. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The Three Gorges Dam is constructed on the Yarlung Sangpo River. No, it is not on the Yarlung Sangpo River. It is basically on the Yangtze River. Yarlung Sangpo is Brahmaputra. So it is not on that. So this statement is wrong. The Three Gorges Dam is the largest dam of the world. This statement is right. And the dam which is coming on Yarlung Sangpo, that is Brahmaputra, is going to be the largest, 3 times more than in the capacity of the Three Gorges Dam this particular dam has or will have, I would say. So currently Three Gorges Dam is the largest dam of the world. So only two is correct. Second, on which of the following rivers is the Great Bend located? So this Great Bend is located on the Yarlung Sangpo or Brahmaputra. Before entering into India, this Great Bend is there, U Bend is there. Third, which of the following statements with respect to Open Digital Kit are correct and mark the correct one? It is a digital tool adopted to increase accountability of the government. Yes. Multilingual capabilities. Yes. It takes into account beneficiary surveys. Yes. All these statements are correct. So all of the above is going to be the correct one. Fourth, which of these can be the symptoms of human metapneumovirus, HMPV, the new threat? Fever, definitely it is. Runny nose, it is. Wheezing, it is. As of now, there are no, I would say, symptoms of diarrhea for HMPV. So only 1, 2 and 4 are going to be the correct options. Hence, B is the correct option over here. So with this, we have come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.